I think all competitions we've been to the season, and the first competitive game I've been able to have with the club, it would have been nice if the game was played later and we were able to field what we think is our strongest team, which obviously we can't. But it's still a very important game, it's an official game, and I hope that the players that we will give the confidence to play in this game and to represent Liverpool will be able to do a good job. I think probably the third qualifying round we had last year against the Lithuanian team was, on paper at least, a somewhat easier fixture than this one, and the other major difference of course was that we've been training for 3 weeks with our first team and we took the first team to play there. Who will be the captain? Actually I haven't decided that yet. The captain in the last games has been Lucas Leiva, but now we have people like Skirtle and Hager with us in the team. It's quite possible I might change that, but the captain for the 2 friendly matches we played in Switzerland was Lucas Leiva. That's because he was the most experienced player we had with us.
What do you know about Rabotnicki? What strikes you about them as a team, and what are your expectations from tomorrow night's match?
Well, we know as much as you're able to find out in a week, because that's when we knew we would be playing. I have reports from their 2 matches, of course. We have some video footage from the 2 matches they played against Nika from Armenia. I have, of course, a report or a couple of pages on the history of the club when it was formed, 1937 from memory, and of course a very successful team in Macedonian football in this new millennium. Since the 2000s they've had a lot of success. They have a lot of experience in European football because they play every year at some level. And we know that we can be expecting a tough game from a team that, for them, this is a very important game, playing a team like Liverpool, and we know that they'll be doing their very best to beat us.
Sammy Lee came here with Bolton from yesterday, and Bolton manager. Has he been able to tell you anything about his?
Strangely enough, not, because I think he erased it from his memory. I think he's erased the whole time as Bolton manager from his memory, and I'm very pleased to hear that he's done so. So, in actual fact, he remembers the stadium being very different to the way it looks today. And he remembers that the team of Bolton managed to get through the tie with some difficulty, but they got through the tie. But he doesn't remember that much about the game, actually.
Roy, how big a step up is this for the young lads that you've blooded through pre-season?
It's a massive step. We've only got to look at the room here in front of us and listen to the cameras clicking and the enormous number of TV cameras, the interest and the passion that I'm sure the Macedonian fans are going to bring to the game. It's a step up that you have to experience. You can't talk people through it. And if you're going to become a top player at a club like Liverpool and experience European football for many years, you need to be able to handle it. Whether they can handle it or not, we should find out tomorrow night.
It's a big opportunity though. What about sink or swim, I suppose, is it?
Well, let's hope it's not sink or swim. I mean, I think it would be very, very harsh to write off a player's chances of becoming a good player on the evidence of a game. I think it's more opportunity to swim than that they should be fearful of sinking. But of course, we are, as Liverpool Football Club, obliged to put our fate, our European fate, into the hands of many inexperienced players, and we can only hope that because they have talent, they will be able to come through and get us through these ties against an experienced and also a well-versed team in European football like Rabotnicki.
So what's going to be a good result for Liverpool tomorrow? Obviously statistics are saying in the warm-up games you've not scored yet, so is it going to be an absolute disaster if you don't win tomorrow?
Well, whether things are portrayed as disasters or magnificent successes doesn't depend upon me. It depends on the players that way. I would be disappointed if the team doesn't perform. In the 2 matches against Grasshoppers and Kaiserslautern, playing 2 senior teams with a very young team, I thought that we performed very admirably and well. What a good result tomorrow night will be will always depend upon the game how well our opponents play, how much pressure we find ourselves under, what pressure we can put them under. So I'm hoping that it will be a good game from our side. I'm hoping that we will be able to win it, but I'm far from confident that that's going to be the case, because we know the value of the opposition, and we know that with 13 players returning from the World Cup and most of them not here, this is not the Liverpool team that people will be watching throughout the season.
For the tomorrow game, who will lead the attack? I wrote about that Ivanovic maybe will be the first choice, but it's in the goal. Who will be the first choice for the attack?
Well, you'll see that tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night?
Yes. Watch the game tomorrow night, you'll find it. Everybody knows, not least of all people in UEFA, that you can't bring people off the beach, give them 3 days training and then throw them into a top-class competitive game. So we had no choice but not to do that. And as a result, of course, the team we're fielding tomorrow is going to be a very different team to the team that plays against Arsenal 14 quarters.
What do you see as the biggest threat from Rabotnicki? Maybe the home crowd, the pressure, or maybe the offensive Brazilian line?
I think it's probably both. I think that the Brazilian players obviously are skillful players and will cause problems like they've been doing so far to the other teams they've met in the competition. I think the team's well organised, so that also is a factor, because the team has played together for a long time, this Rabotnicki team, which we actually haven't, with a teamwork playing. And I think the fans will play a part. I think that it's Liverpool Football Club, for them it's a big game in the history of the club, and I think that all of those things will come together to make it a very difficult occasion for us tomorrow night, and one where we'll have to be very good if we're going to survive it.